Okay, so the two things I want to get really good at in my life are guitar and jujitsu. And I really wanted to advance my practice as much as possible and see how much better I could get in 1 week if I really tried. And I realized that it was really hard to give enough attention to each thing because they're both so massive. There's so much to work on. So I tried sort of a Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins type thing. I tried combining things and optimizing my practice time. And I found that when I do a lot of jujitsu instructionals online, and that's how I learn a lot of moves. I do the real thing too. I actually go to class, but when I'm not in class, I like to learn offline. And so I've been watching these videos, going to the bookstore and just using my laptop and watching these videos. And I realized that, I could be doing something with my hands as I watch these videos. So I tried for a week and I wanted to see kind of as an experiment if I could do both and get a lot of benefit from them. And I found out that you can. And here's the best part. So I'll watch these videos, I'll be learning techniques, learning concepts, but I'll be practicing with my hands technical things that I could be doing. It's just almost like what I call robotic work, where you're teaching your body to play something almost without thinking about it. Okay, so at first you might have to put a little more thinking into your guitar as you're maybe watching Game of Thrones or something. But over time, it's going to get to where it's 50-50. And pretty soon you're going to be engaged in whatever you're watching and your hands are going to be doing all the work for you. It's a great feeling. So I'll show you what I did for this week at least. I just did a series of patterns, and it started off with the spider exercise, which we did a whole video on before. So I'll just do it really quick, okay? It's basically where you go chromatically 1, 2, 3, 4 across the string. And then you could pick it once if you want each. Or you can do twice each. And they all have their own benefits, but you could do this semi-consciously. And then after you get done with it, you move up a fret, and that's how you get a whole bunch out of this. You could do fours. That gets into tremolo picking, so it gets really cool. Okay, then I quickly moved on to patterns. So I did 3-note per string patterns. And on the website, we call this color forms. So some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. If not, you can go to the website or you can check it out online somewhere. They call it 3-note per string forms most of the time. All right, so I would start here and I would do, for example, the red form. I would go. Backwards. Move to the next form. It's orange. And so on. I'd go through all 7 of those, and then I would come back, and by that time my hands were pretty warmed up. So I did my stretches. Don't forget your stretches, because there was a time when I actually started hurting my hand a little bit. This was a couple months ago, and it got to the point where I had a lot of pain because I was neglecting my stretches, so don't forget to do those. Okay, then we'll come back. Then what you could do is you could take these 3-note per string scales, and you could do them in different patterns. So for example, what I mean by that are like in 3s and in 4s, just different sequences. So you could go 4s. You guys probably know by now that I love 4s. They're a lot of fun. Then you can go to the next form, do 3s. And so on as you climb and as you descend. Okay, so go ahead and make up your own sequences if you want to, but just make sure you get through all 7 of those forms. Then I went to pentatonic using the cage system. So I would play, for example, the first form. I would do pentatonic maybe. Or the full diatonic. Go to the second form. Third form. And so on. So I'd get through all 5 of those, and then I would come back and I would do some sort of lick for each one of the forms. So if you take the third form, which is here, I would do maybe some circular licks like this. And that's great. I love circular licks when you don't have to think about it because your hands eventually just feel it right. I did a lot of economy picking this week. And finally, I wanted to improve my bar chords using the cage system. And if you guys know all 5 forms of the cage system, C, A, G, E, D, you know that it gets pretty difficult when you have to do them as bar chords. So what I did was I took this concept of playing all 5 of them in one position and then moving up a fret, and so on. and it got real easy after a while. Started with the fourth form, went to the second form, just stacked them like that. Fifth form, the dreaded third form right here, first form. Then I moved up one fret and I just repeated that. Fourth form, second form, fifth form, and so on. And before I knew it, my fingers were jumping to the right places pretty quickly, and it was a good feeling to finally just feel the transitions happening. So it's a fun practice experiment for you guys. Give it a shot for a week, and you know, you can obviously make up your own routine. You don't have to follow what I did. That was just a starting point for you guys. This week I'm going to go to arpeggios, sweep arpeggios, some other things that are a little bit more on the difficult side of things, and see if I can get just as much benefit from doing two things at once. Not to mention, I'll have a whole bunch of jiu-jitsu techniques that I could try out. All right, guys, have fun with that, and remember to leave me a comment. Let me know how it worked for you, and we'll see you at the next lesson. Okay, thanks, guys.